Triple flicks. Lock me up. Lock me up.
Woo! Triple Flicks Mafia. Appreciate you coming by, sweetheart.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Daddy Bobby, a little 40.
Friday the 14th.
And the Viz.
And here we are.
It's a special day for me.
It's very special.
We are finally getting around to the Friday the 13th franchise.
Heck yeah.
And this is a doozy. This is a big one. The phone is. I had to keep notes for this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big one to get through. We got 12 movies.
Yeah, 12, yep.
Yeah,
yep.
so
Yep.
this is not counting Never Hike Alone, the fan films, or anything like that. We're going straight original movie franchise with this one. So,
Right.
I mean, we could talk about Never Hike Alone and
Yeah.
the fan film, the two fan films that we've seen after this. But I mean, at the end of the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has to do with this gorgeous thing right here that neither one of these two guys own anymore.
Thank God, because the first 8 movies is all I really care about.
Yep.
Well,
We
okay,
got
good
those
point.
for
Touche, sir.
a tenth of the
Touche.
price.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah, see?
But I think,
Budweiser.
but I think we're just gonna go through each one of the movies and then give our ranking as.
I was going to put that on the table, but then Jordan would have been looking at it all the time.
Oh, you're
Go
down.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go through each one of the movies and then give our ranking for each one of them as we go.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And so,
I
yeah,
took notes too.
yeah, you gotta have notes. I mean,
Let me say this.
Say it.
I rewatched all of these movies over the past few weeks and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
I think movie for movie, franchise-wise, this is the most enjoyable franchise. And that's speaking from a bias.
I think it's my new favorite
Really?
franchise.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I knew you'd be proud.
That gives me a happy heart.
Well, because to me, like with these,
They know what they are.
they know what they are, but and they get bad towards
Yeah,
the
there's
end.
a few
yeah.
like stinkers, but
But overall, as a franchise, it's way better than the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as a franchise, it's funner to watch. Most of them are funner to watch than the Halloweens. There's really great Halloweens.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's some that are just kind of meh.
Yeah.
And there's some bad ones.
Yeah.
These I didn't feel like, even the really bad ones, there's 2 just really bad ones that I don't ever want to watch again. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah.
it's still fun. They're
Yeah.
fun.
And
it's a good 10 out of 12. You know,
Yeah.
that's
yeah, oh
good.
yeah, it's
Right, for
you
sure,
get
yeah.
a double-digit good movies out of this one. And like I said, they know what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things that chronologically through the movies that don't add up, but you know, you get past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially coming off of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like that was just rough.
That's
Yeah,
rough.
it's
I
a
mean,
rough one,
there's
for sure.
what 3 good ones out of that one.
Maybe.
Let's not argue about that, though.
We're not going to get back into that situation again.
So, do you want to start it off? Who want to start it off? Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go with 1980s Friday the 13th. I mean, it's the one that, well, Halloween was first in 78 that started the slasher genre, but this Friday the 13th took it to a whole nother level because you don't get that many kills in Halloween or showing of it, but the Friday the 13th took it to a whole new level, and I think just took the slasher genre to a whole new level.
Yeah. It's
With-
almost like a whodunit, like a. I don't want to say a murder mystery because it's not like that.
Well, yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of is, yeah. But that's what got it started, like you said. I mean, after Halloween came out and started that. Well, I don't know if they started the first. We always talk about that. Was it Black Christmas? Did they do that?
Yeah, Black Christmas came before Halloween, but even in Black Christmas, you don't get that many.
No, you don't.
You don't get
much.
the kills, which we're a fan of. We're a fan of kills and blood and gore.
Yeah.
And then, but they got Tom Savini after what was it? Dawn of the Dead came out in the late '70s as well, didn't it? Around the late '70s.
Time frame, yeah.
And of course, they went after Tom Savini for this one to do the practical effects, and he took practical effects to a whole new level.
Yeah, he was like the all-star of that first movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
And what's his name? The composer.
Harry Manfredini.
Yeah, the music I think is so key in those first 2 movies because
Yeah.
you don't get a lot of Jason and there's all these kind of different elements that change 3 on.
Right.
But I think the music plays a huge part
Yeah, and a little fun
in the
fact,
first two.
and the music is only played when the killer, Pamela, comes around in this movie, and which gives it more suspense.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jaws, like
Yeah.
where it has that little theme that comes in.
Yeah, a lot of strings.
Well, they pulled a lot from Psycho.
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
that was
exactly. But the composing of it is just fantastic. The first one it's a slow burn. I mean, it's very spaced out between the kills. It's a slow, like one scene where Alice, it shows her making coffee, like the full run of her getting the coffee off the shit.
Right.
They could have cut that out, but with all these movies, you have an hour and a half runtime on all of them. It's pretty much the same runtime on every single movie. And like I said, this franchise almost caters to the fans more. With like I said, they know what they're doing and they just get straight to the point. But the first one, it's in my top 5. Yeah, it's in my top 5 of them. But it's just a slower burn compared to the rest of them.
I love the ending.
Oh, the ending's fantastic.
You know, it's just classic.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the first time you watched it, did you know that Pamela was the killer?
No.
Going
I don't
into
remember
it?
the first time I did watch it.
No, it was years ago. But
Yeah, it was
I
many
just
moons
assumed
ago.
You know, going into it, I was just assuming Jason was the killer and all before I started watching them, you know.
Yeah.
So the first time I watched it was, God, 20 years ago or whenever it was, but because I was late to seeing these, but.
And I love the lake scene at the end with the music playing.
Oh,
that's just such a classic
scene. Even still watching it down, it still creeps you out with Jason jumping out of the lake. But, of course, it's a dream sequence, and which is awesome about part 2, picks up straight from right after part 1.
Right after that ended.
So what would y'all give Friday the 13th? In
As far as
y'all's,
where it sits?
Yeah, where it sits in y'all's franchise.
It's my number 4.
It's your number 4?
Yeah.
It is my number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my number 4 in the franchise.
I gave it
too.
an 8 out of 10, and it's number 5 on my list.
Yeah, it's solid. It's a slasher,
Yeah,
which we love, and it's out in the woods,
Yep.
Right.
and it's got the camp feel to it.
And I like that first person shot, even though you never see, I guess, Pamela. You never really see her. I like that. You know, it's effective.
What I would have been pretty awesome too is if you brought Pamela into the movie more, because you know how she has that, like, she's a psycho, she's crazy, but there's 2 different sides of her. She's sweet and caring at one part, and then she turns completely psycho. I thought it would have been better if they would have brought her in with the campers a little bit more, being the sweet side of her, and then just automatically flipping around to the end. It's like, holy shit, she's the killer.
Right, that's true.
That's
Kind of making you think she's the far opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would have been, and like they said, they hadn't pretty much, I think they shot this movie for under $500,000, and they shot it in 28 days.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
And then of course, which each movie they got more and more of a budget with them.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's in my top 5 as in the franchise.
I've watched multiple people over the years review these movies, and most people kind of feel the same way with the first one. I feel like everybody really appreciates it for what it is, but you don't ever really hear about people saying the first one is their favorite one.
Yeah.
Which is not the case for the other big movies.
Yeah, very true.
Like with Halloween and
Nightmare.
with Nightmare and
Texas
with Texas Chainsaw. Usually the first one is either number 1 or number 2 to people, but with these you usually see this one about.
Well, it's just because Jason's not in it.
Yeah,
You know, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
And what kills me is, like, you can see some of the DVD releases of the original Friday the 13th, and they have Jason on there with the mask on, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
I have a
It's just
DVD
getting
version that has a slipcover that has the hockey mask on it. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
All right, number 2.
Number 2, Friday the 13th. Oh, excuse me. Part 2, which came out in 1981, almost a year to the date after the first one was released, and it picks up with Alice in the back home. And this one has a long opening credit scene. It's like 15 minutes before you get the opening credits of the movie, which, of course, Alice gets killed. But it's like, okay, this one's supposed to take place, I think 5 years.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it picks up with Alice right at the beginning of it, out of the hospital and everything. And then, of course, Jason goes to her home to kill her.
Right.
How the hell does he know where she lives?
Right.
You know, but
he's got good.
And a lot of people say Jason is not a runner. He runs in this movie where he runs across the road when the people's driving down. I don't know. I'm a fan of this one. I have this one it's number 5 to me. The Sackhead version. I mean, you gotta. Another question. Jason's out in these woods, living off eating fish and crayfish and stuff in the wood, and nobody ever sees him out there for as long as he's
a
growing
stealth,
up.
Dude.
I mean, he's just a ninja of the night, just moving around in his little shack with Pamela's head out there.
He's just kicking it, dude.
But they take the gore to another level with this one as well. You got some great kills in this one. Of course, you got the axe to the dude in the wheelchair going down the steps.
Oh yeah, I love that scene.
That's probably.
I love the whole atmosphere of this one, especially when it starts raining.
Yeah.
And it starts kind of like doing
and the music
work.
kicks in. Harry Manfredini does the music once again for this one.
Mm-hmm. I love the campfire scene where the dude's giving the big speech. I mean, it's such a classic scene.
Gives you a good vibe. And you also think too, this was '81. Yeah. Right. This was the same year that the second Halloween came out, and you know the gore level from Halloween 1 to Halloween 2 jumped up too.
Huge difference.
I'm not sure which came out first. I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but that's the same. They came out the same year. They both took that same approach. It seemed like with the
they stepped it up
sequels,
a notch.
because that was becoming a thing. You know, like people wanted to see the kills more. And
well, 1981 is your favorite year of horror, isn't it?
For sure, yeah.
I mean, there's so much that came out in 1981.
I think we may need to do like an updated video because I did one like 4 years ago, but there's so many more we've seen from that year.
Yeah, there's a lot of great horror movies that came out in the year '81.
Yeah.
But this one would be, like I said, this would be 5 on my list. Yeah, I think I got it 5. No, I have this one. I had the original at number 3 on my list, so I completely screwed that up. But nah, part 2 is 4 on my list.
Part 2 would be I have it at number 3. I like the. There's certain parts of it, like you said, like the Baghead Jason is just kind of hit or miss. But there's certain kills in this, like the one going down the stairs, and then I love that scene, like Jordan was talking about, when he's telling the story of it and everything. So I had this as my number 3 for my part 2.
Yeah, and I like the spear kill when the spear kill when the two people are on the bed and he comes in with, and
the ending when he busts through the window.
Yeah. The unmasked version of him, and once again the MPAA cut so much out of these movies, which is crazy, because they were a whole lot more. The original cuts were a whole lot more gory.
Yeah.
And it had because these movies were so close to being considered rated X movies
back then.
Yeah.
And you think that's because too it was on such a big, since it was Universal maybe? You think, or maybe it was just because it was our horror movies and gore was new.
Yeah.
Like as far as like being released in theaters.
That could be. Yeah, that's a real good point to that one too.
It may have been that may have been why they were like, oh no, this is crazy. We got to cut these.
Oh no.
I have this movie as number 2 on my list.
Really?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I like the Sackhead look.
I do too. I like the.
I like it more in the remake.
Yeah.
But I still think I still really dig it in the second movie.
He's just a little too skinny for me, but he's younger in this one too. It's just the body-wise.
He's smaller.
He's smaller. I mean, there's a huge difference from Jason from part 2 to part 3. I mean, he found a weight room out in the middle of the woods somewhere and freaking bulked up big time and become a hunchback.
I almost feel like the first and second movie could be like their own little contained movies, you know?
Yeah.
And then 3, you kind of start having fun, and you obviously see him with the hockey mask. But I think the first 2 are great. They're slower. They're slower and they're dated, but.
And of course, and like you said, music makes a big factor for us too.
Huge,
and Harry Manfredini knocked it out of the park with these two, and of course he did part 3 as well.
Yeah. Number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Part 3.
Part
3D.
3D, which came out in 1982. Which I mean, you're seeing this. Part 1 came out in 80, 81, 82. They were
letting them run. Bro.
Yeah, and they were planning on for this one to be the end of Friday the 13th franchise.
Yeah.
But they just kept making more and more money, and so it's like, well, why are we going to end something that's making us a shit ton of money?
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of 3. 3D is number 2 on my list.
Yeah.
I mean, between this one and part 4, they flip-flop back and forth for number 1 for me. And these two, you can roll, these two as well, you can, part 3 and 4, you can roll into one movie because 4 picks up right where 3 leaves off.
Yep.
I love the look of Jason in this one when he finally gets the hockey mask from, what's his name, Shelly? One of the most annoying characters in the whole franchise.
That's what I have on Friday the 13th game. That's my counselor, Shelly. That's why I'm so trash, probably.
But I mean, he's making jokes left and right. It's very, I mean, watching it in the 2D version, you can tell they were going for the big time 3D effect with all the stuff. But the kills are great in this one. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite out of the whole franchise is the spear gun kill.
Oh, dude,
classic.
So
I
awesome.
mean, and Tom Savini was back for this movie to do the practical effects. It's just.
I love this one. It's my favorite one. It's my number 1. I just love the vibe. The characters in it are super cheesy, but I still have fun with them. I love the whole setting where a lot of it's in the barn scenes and stuff like that.
In this one, you don't get attached to the characters as much like you do in part 2 with Guinea and Alice in part 1.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think the characters in this one are extremely boring compared to the other ones. Like, they're just sitting inside, like, just chilling.
Yeah.
Like, one of them's, like, juggling apples. You know, like,
Then
they're
you
not
have those
doing anything fun.
thugs. You have the street thugs.
It's just, I don't like any of the extra characters. But when it has Jason in the barn, spear gun, you know, the second portion, I guess the third act of that movie, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And this one's the one, the ending of this one is the one that scared me the most, is when after she puts the axe in Jason's head and she's out on the little canoe and she looks up into the barn and you see Jason up there with the blood coming out and he's sitting there scratching at the window.
Yeah.
That scene, to me, that was the most terrifying scene out of the whole franchise to me. Seeing it when I was younger, and it's still pretty terrifying seeing it with him still trying to get after her, and when he comes out of the barn and running towards her.
Yeah.
And then you got dream sequence Pamela pop out of the...
See, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one either. You should just leave Pamela where she was.
Yeah.
I mean, you decapitated her in part 1. Why is she all of a sudden now jumping out of the lake?
They just want to just try to reuse that same shot in some way. This is number 4 for me in my ranking.
I got it number 2 is on mine.
Yeah. It's a good one though.
Yeah, man.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I enjoyed the practical effects, and like you said, you get the iconic mask in this one. So that's a plus. You finally get that with thanks to Shelly.
Yeah.
Stupid ass Shelly.
One funny thing I put in my notes. Trying to make it sound natural. No, but for real, in my notes, I put pretty boring group. Hammock sex ? God bless. Spear gun scene is epic. Yada yada yada. But yeah, hammock sex.
Yeah, hammock sex.
How does that happen?
Yeah, as a big boy like me, that ain't plausible. That ain't happening.
That rhythm right, I guess. Whenever this.
Well, next thing I know, I'm gonna go going.
Somebody's gonna flip. Yeah,
somebody's gonna flip while something's inside somebody, and it's just gonna be all.
And then you're gonna get wrapped up in the hammock, and it's just gonna be awkward.
Yeah.
And then it's like, get me out of here! Get me out of here!
But yeah, part 3 is a good one, for sure.
Yeah, it's my favorite one, man. But like I'm like Tony though.
You flip-flops between that and part 4, which we'll just segue right, easy segue right into part 4 because it picks up literally right after part 3. They take Jason into the hospital. The coroner's watching Jazzercise videos, like getting off to watching Jazzercise.
Yeah.
And then Jason wakes up and it's on from there.
Yeah.
This is my number 1 out of the whole franchise.
Go ahead.
This is one of the most badass Jasons we get out of it, in my opinion.
Sure.
What were you gonna say?
I like how it opens like with that same campfire scene from the second movie.
Yeah, it gives a big rehash of the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
And the teenagers are more fun in this one. Like the rainy atmosphere in this one is, I think, really kind of makes it just creepier.
Fly, bro.
Yeah, dude. Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite kills in the whole movie too. Is the corkscrew to the hand and then the axe or the what do they call it? An axe, not an axe, but a cleaver to the head.
Did this come out the year after? Or did
1984. Well, there was we had a break between. 1983, they didn't put one out. This one was put out in '84.
Oh, that's right, because they were trying to end it.
Yeah, 3 was supposed to be the end of it. They were supposed to kill off Jason right there in the barn scene. He was supposed to be done. They were not going to do any more.
Yeah.
But it made so much money that they couldn't turn down doing another one.
Right.
But yeah, 4 is my favorite, even though you got Corey Feldman, which I'm not a fan of Corey Feldman at all. I'm not a.
What about the Tommy Jarvis just character in general?
I like how he's like a practical effects genius at the age of like 8 years old and can make like all kinds of stuff. But it's Tom Savini's back again for this one. It almost looks, in a way, they made Tommy Jarvis like a younger Tom Savini.
Yeah, it's like a little passion project.
Yeah.
You're going to be a little Tom
Like
Savini.
that. Yeah.
But I mean, the kills are good in this one. It got cut. A lot got cut out of this one too. That's the main theme out of these movies. I don't know. I guess because they were put out, like you said, by Universal.
I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just thinking like it.
Because compared to other movies we've seen, but they're lower budget movies
Right.
probably didn't get a bigger release like Friday the 13th did.
Right, that's true.
But a lot was cut out. You got one of the most famous endings where Jason his head sliding down the machete.
Yeah.
But when he busts through that door into the house, I mean, it's just like, holy shit, this
dude, shit's at
is
the fan.
badass.
For sure.
Yeah. This is my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's my number one.
It's so much fun. I mean, it's just great atmosphere. You got a little bit dirtier of it, and you have the most consistent between part 3 and part 4 of the look of Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, he looks very similar to each other out of part 3 and part 4.
Right.
Which you had Ted White and Richard Brooker doing part 3 and Ted White doing part 4, but the prosthetics and everything, this is the most continuous look of Jason out of the whole
the way it
franchise,
looks,
and my favorite looks of Jason.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is number 1 on my list by far.
So we one on y'all's list and number 2 on mine, and it flip flops with
Yeah.
3. So I see a lot of people out there too that kind of have those same. People seem to like 3 and 4 a lot, but it's usually at the top.
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I don't see many flaws with it.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
solid.
with that time frame, too.
Solid. And then we move into part 5, because once again, after part 4, they wanted to end it once again right there.
Yeah.
With it. They wanted it to be over with and done. Like I said, Jason takes a machete to the head, and then Tommy Jarvis with his little bald head going psycho, just slapping him with that fucking machete. But then you get at the end, the look with Tommy Jarvis looking into the camera, and it's like, oh, are they going to go that Tommy's going to be the next Jason? And then you move into part 5, which was 85? Yes, 1985.
Right back to 1 year later.
Yeah, back to 1 year later, and then you get that all over a chocolate bar. A chocolate bar is what causes all the killings in part 5.
Yeah.
It really does.
I'm
Yeah.
not the
That's
biggest fan
what-
of 5, bro. I mean, it's all right.
I mean, it's got more of a cult feel. It's not the best out of the franchise by far, but it's got kind of like a cult feel to it with the whole character of Roy Burns.
Tommy Jarvis is like a fighting champion.
is,
He's like
dude.
Jean-Claude Van Damme in that
I was
one.
like, what's going on? Where did he go train
Just
at?
constant flashbacks with him just going crazy. I mean, he's been in an institution, and then he's brought to this house with all these
Yeah. He's just
boring
been fucking
characters.
Kicking ass for.
And a lot of the kills, you don't get any of the money shots.
No.
You'll just see like a machete go in the air, and then you don't get
That's
the
another
money
thing,
shot.
too,
You,
man.
you don't get any of a lot of the kills, but this one has the most kills in it
Yeah.
out of the whole franchise. I think there's like 20 plus kills in this one, but it's kind of but that's the MPAA kind of restricting them once again.
Have they ever? So the releases that are on here, that's still
Yeah, but in the bonus features they have the kill,
Like
the
the
whole
raw
the
footage,
raw
yeah.
footage of the
Yeah.
kills and all that stuff in bonus features. I think there's a couple DVD releases that may have.
I've heard that there are DVD releases, that have like
the uncut versions of them.
but
Um,
I'm sure they're long.
DVD.
Yeah.
Why get DVDs when you got this beautiful thing right here?
Money.
But I mean, Roy, you're thinking that either Tommy in part 5, you're either thinking that Tommy's the killer or the dude that kills the chocolate bar guy at the beginning is the killer. You have no idea that it's the ambulance driver.
It's more of like a mystery. It's a whodunit.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
back
so
to
much
like
of a
that,
slasher
yeah.
as it is a whodunit.
Probably one of my favorite. I like the outhouse kill in this one.
That is a good kill. Yeah.
But it's better. The uncut version is so much better, especially with the girl that's in the van. Her head gets crushed, I think, in the uncut version of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember. A lot of these kills
Kinda
are
run
just a
together,
blur.
yeah.
There's so many of them.
Where does this one sit?
This one sits. Where do I have this one? I have this one at number. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Is number 6 in mine?
I got it at number 8.
Yeah.
I have it at number 10.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's down there for me too. But
You know,
it's not. It's
it's
not,
a decent watch.
No, yeah, it's not terrible.
I don't dislike
it's just,
it. I just,
It's
know.
just one of my list.
But like you said, this franchise has so many good ones in here.
Yeah.
Something's got to be at the bottom of the list.
Right. Yep.
And then we move right into part 6. Jason Lives.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he lives.
The beginning of Supernatural Jason.
Yeah,
You know,
this is
like-
the first appearance of. This is Zombie Jason. I guess.
Zombie Jason,
Zombie
for sure.
Jason, and Tommy Jarvis is back once. The character of Tommy Jarvis is back once again.
That opening scene is incredible.
I love it.
You know,
except for the
great.
whole, except for the James Bond part of it. Where
You know, as goofy as that is, it's still kind of.
it's part of the times though too,
Yeah.
because this one was in 1986. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're right in the middle of
They
the.
waited. So they waited 2 years for this last one. Since the last
No, the only year that they took off was 83 and 87.
Oh, so the last one was 85.
Yeah, the
Okay,
last one was
gotcha,
85,
okay.
so we jumped. And this is C.J. Graham, one of the. I like this movie, but it has its flaw. Jason with his Batman utility belt. That drives me. It drives me nuts. I love the movie, but just the look of Jason is not one of my favorites. Because once again, it starts getting inconsistent. Because in part 4, he's not wearing a belt whatsoever.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, he's in a casket and he's got a freaking utility belt.
Well,
Right.
whoever
Tim
buried
the
him,
Tool
maybe
Man.
they knew that that was special to him. They put it on him when they
Put him
buried
at-
him.
put Tim the Toolman belt on.
But I mean, this one's got some great kill. I love the paintball scene
Yeah.
where he rips a dude's arm off.
I just like the shots of him just walking through the woods.
Yeah, he's such
like,
a badass, dude.
He's
in
so
the
much more
shots.
aggressive in this
Yeah.
one. There's a different energy
They
to
start
Jason.
amping him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My favorite scene in the whole movie is when they make it back to the camp and the girl's walking in the cabin and he's outside and walking with her
Yeah.
from the outside. That is such a dope shot.
Yeah.
Such a dope shot. I mean, they get back to the camp in this one. It's just, I like this one a lot. It's,
I like the kills a lot in this one.
yeah. This is the middle of the road. Like I said, this is number 5 on my list.
This is 7 on mine. I still like it though. Yeah, I liked it better than 5. But like it's got its flaws, like you said. But I have it like right, you know.
It's number 3 for me.
Oh hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. I give it an
Yeah.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like he was saying though, Jason looks like such a badass in this one.
Yeah.
Until they start really just like.
And you get this is the C.J. Graham, which meeting C.J. Graham, he awesome
Oh,
guy.
he's so cool. Like I met him twice, and when he did that drop for us. But
Yeah.
then I met him when we went to the one up here in Nashville, and he was super cool both times. And
Yeah,
everybody-
one of the
I haven't
nicest-
heard any bad stories about him.
Yeah, one of the nice. I mean, I've met Kane. Kane was all right. I mean, you had a good experience with Steve Dash that
Oh
one
yeah,
time.
Steve Dash told me to get the fuck out of his way when I wasn't even in his way, and then he died shortly after that. So.
But C.J. Graham, I mean, I sat there at Days of the Dead and talked to him
Savage.
for about almost 10 minutes, and of course he cut a promo for us.
I just said something really horrible, but R.I.P. Steve Dash, man.
Yeah, RV, but I mean, it is what it is.
It is. He was a piece of shit. So, I guess we're gonna move on to. Oh, Tony's gonna like talking about this one.
What, the New Blood?
Oh no. Yeah, never mind. Go ahead. Well, yeah, that one too. But I was jumping ahead.
Oh. I like that. I'm a fan of New Blood.
Yeah.
Once again, the look totally changes in this one to Jason. It's more zombified. He does all of a sudden his utility at the beginning of the movie when he's down in the lake, he has a utility belt on.
They pull him out.
They pull him out, and all of a sudden he's in a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
He's in Michael Myers coveralls jumpsuit.
Well, I guess they just thought back then, like, nobody's gonna notice this.
And it's our
Yeah,
first.
Jazz Ball.
It's our first appearance of Kane Hodder being Jason, which makes sense because he was a stuntman before this, and this is probably the most athletic Jason
Oh yeah,
we
he was,
see
yeah, he
out
was
of
like
any of
a
them.
5-star athlete in this one.
Yeah, I mean he's just going, and this one gets so cut down in this one because the kills were in the uncut version, which they have it on the special features. They show the kills in this one were supposed to be insane, like
And they cut 'em
brutal kills, especially with the weed eater with the saw blade on the end of it. That scene's cut out big time, where he crushes the guy's head In this one, it is totally cut down.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Tina, the psychic.
Yeah, the Carrie ripoff.
Yeah, Carrie versus Terminator. You can compare this one in this one.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of unmasked Jason in this one as well. A lot, like the last 15 minutes, he doesn't have a mask. I love the kill when he kicks in the door to the house, puts the axe in the girl's head, throws her across the room, and he's just standing there, and you can just see like just
Like,
breathing.
What motherfucker? Like,
Yeah. It's like, what are you gonna do, Carrie? And then she whips his ass.
Yeah, and I was like, come on, fuck at
Yeah,
it.
Kane Hodder had like that breathing thing going on. Where he's
I'm
always
not,
huffing
I'm
and
not,
puffing.
I'm not a big.
Like,
a
are you
fan of the
scary,
breathing
or do
Jason
you
like
just-
that?
I like it. I like
Yeah.
I like the look of it. It's just like I said. It's just the inconsistency. I wish they would have been
I'm
more
just so
consistent.
used to not seeing that. I think is why I'm
Yeah.
like, But I mean, I get it. Though.
I love the look with him with the bones, his ribs showing, the bones showing. I mean, he's been underwater, fish have probably been eating at him and stuff.
Yeah.
The ending with Tina's dad, all of a sudden just popping out where she kills him at the beginning
Yeah.
because he's abusive and all that stuff, and her psychic powers kill. But at the end, he comes back and it looks like nothing at all is wrong with him.
Yeah, I
and
didn't
he's
like
been
it. Thought it was just
zombie him
ridiculous.
up a little bit more, make him look like he was
Right.
drowned out. This one
This one's forgettable to me.
Yeah,
very
I've got it
forgettable.
as number 9. It's kind of down there. On
yeah,
mine.
it's lower on my list as
I got
well.
it at 9
It's
as
not
well.
terrible, but it's definitely one of the weaker.
I have it
to
just
me.
just above the beginning. I have it at number 9 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have it at 8, I believe.
So we're pretty much.
Yeah, we're
in
on a
agreement that
consistent
one.
basis
On
Same
that one.
ballpark.
with our list. And then we got
Oh God.
Jason on a boat.
This
Yeah.
is the first Friday the 13th that I'd ever seen.
Really?
When I was little. I was spending the night at a friend's house. I didn't watch a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
This is the one I watched, and it scared me. It,
Oh, yeah.
it freaked me
Yeah,
out.
of course, yeah.
I thought he was being all slimy. The way he looks at the very end,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it terrified me when I was little.
But it shouldn't be called Jason Takes Manhattan.
No.
No, not
Because the
at all.
first hour, he's on a boat. The
Yep.
whole movie, on a boat the whole movie. It's got some great kills. I love the sauna kill with the rocks. I love
Yeah.
that kill. This one's lower on my list. It's
bad, man.
What about just this random senior trip that they're going on? Like they get to
yeah,
ride on a
like what?
cruise boat to New York?
I was like, what?
I love the look of what like Jason holding on to the side of the boat, just
Yeah.
Like he's just a passenger.
just hanging out like, on the side of the boat.
He's just chilling. Then of course the
And then him walking down freaking Times Square.
That's such an epic shot.
It is an
It is a
epic
good
shot,
shot,
but
but
he's
it's-
a maniac killer. But he's just walking. Oh, a stereo! Poof! Get out of here!
It felt very 1989.
Yeah.
Plus it had the 89 Batman
Yep,
thing
it came
in
out
the
the same-
background.
It came out the same year, and then he turns around and looks at the punk guys, takes off his mask,
Yeah.
puts it back on, turns around, and walks off.
Yeah, dude.
And then the subway scene too. He's walking down the steps of the subway and just pushes the guy out of the way.
Yeah, it's
Just
like,
get out of here.
come on, man.
I like
don't
the
know.
tunnel scene at the end though, where he's walking,
And
just
the-
chasing him. I thought that was super freaky when I was little.
Yeah.
They'd be like way down the tunnel, and you would just see him like turn the corner and continue walking.
Yeah.
That terrified me.
Once
when I
again,
was
it's that one. Another inconsistent look of Jason in this one because you got part 7, he's got bones showing and everything like that, and then you go to part 8.
little. He's
and-
more put together.
Yeah.
But he's all slimy.
Yeah, he's all
It's like
slimy.
they couldn't. I don't know. It's like they were each one. They wasn't trying to be consistent. They were just trying to have their own unique look to each one or something.
Yeah,
I
and we
don't
get
know.
Kane Hodder again playing Jason in this one.
We're gonna talk about the punch out.
Oh, where he punches off the head.
Yeah, bro.
So ridiculous, and
It's bad.
perfectly
This was
lands in a
bad,
trash
guys.
can.
This was bad.
I'm not a fan of the unmasked look of Jason in this one either.
And even when they get to New York, it's all filmed like in these little alleyways. Like it doesn't even feel like New
Right,
York.
it's just like some random
It's
place.
like a Batman Returns like
Yeah.
alley,
Well, like
just
in the special, it says that they only had 2 days to film in
in
New York City.
And I think
That-
they just did the Times Square
Yeah,
shots.
they were in Times Square for one day, and then they shot other scenes around.
Yeah.
They mainly shot this movie in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But like it was so expensive to shoot inside of New York City that they only had 2 days to film there.
Yeah. So Jason at Sea.
Yeah, Jason, 1989 for that one.
It's
Because like I said, we had a year break between New Blood and Manhattan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was the
What's
only
it?
year, 2 years in the 80s. 83 and 87 is the only 2 years that we didn't, during the 80s, that we didn't get a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
Where y'all got it?
I got it at number 10, man.
Yeah.
It's down there on mine.
Yeah, it's down.
bad.
It's yeah.
I got it at number 8, but that's just because it's the first one. You know, I have a little bit of nostalgia with it.
Sentimental value to
But
you.
it's still, I mean, that's
But
still,
it's just in front of New Blood,
Well,
which
that
we
little-
just, you know,
and that's
destroyed.
And still, I mean, at number 8, that's still the bottom
Right.
bottom 4. So I mean, kind of just is what it is, man. It's Jason Takes Manhattan. It's not that good, man.
And now we're starting to get into the badness of this franchise because
Yeah, that's
we go
terrible.
from Jason Takes Manhattan in 1989, and then we had a 4-year break till we had the new one, and that's Jason Goes to Hell. Jason is a freaking demon worm.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I've seen a couple of franchise reviews of this, and people have this kind of up there.
I don't know. No.
Stop it. Stop it.
The first 10 minutes are cool, where they set up Jason to
Yeah.
get taken out by the. But once again, it's a different look to Jason. Bulging head, mask is implanted in his face.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hate the way it looks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then just the whole premise of the movie.
Yeah, it's garbage.
It
I hate
doesn't,
to
it
say
doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th
No,
movie.
dude.
No.
It's a
No.
what is it? A possession movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a possession movie.
It's fucking awful. Like I rewatched it like last week, the week before that.
It's
I
horrible.
haven't seen it for years before that, but I wanted to go back, knowing how terrible it is. I just got the little 2-pack on DVD and watched it, and I was just like, man, this is
It's garbage.
just dreadful, bro.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It coulda had
it's really
potential.
bad, yeah.
It could have, but they just to me they got really lazy on this one, and it's just.
It still kind of has like a fun 90s vibe to it, but just all the content.
But as
You know,
far as
Friday
in the
the
Friday the
13th,
13th,
it-
yeah,
it's
it was
just
just
good.
its own thing.
And it's got George Washington Duke from Rocky V. in it.
Yeah.
GW dude, man.
I do like the fryer kill on the lady in the restaurant. I do like that one. But I mean, the only time you get Jason in it is like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, man.
The rest of it is
And
a
he
little.
looks- and he looks awful.
Possession movie.
Yeah,
It's
and
fucking-
it's a little worm just ticking
Yeah,
around.
It's a worm. It's a worm.
What
y'all.
about the Freddy ending? with the
I wasn't a
Freddy
fan. I'm not a fan of it.
I was just confused by it. I didn't know.
Well, see, the original plan was to do a Freddy Jason movie after this one,
Right.
and of course that fell through because
So maybe that was their intention.
that was their intention of it. But going back and watching it, not a fan of
Yeah.
that ending.
Yeah.
This movie sucks, guys.
Yeah, it does.
This movie sucks.
It does.
I mean, I don't see how it can be up on somebody's list higher. Even if you watched it as a kid, this doesn't have nostalgia. It's bad, man. I got it number 11.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah,
Number 11.
Is that what you got it as, Tony?
yeah. It's
Number 11?
it's garbage, garbage. Not as garbage as no. I had this one as number 10 for mine, because number 11 to me is Jason X, which
Yep.
came out in 2001.
This is my least favorite. This is number 12 for me.
Yeah, mine too.
And once again, let's change up the look of Jason. I mean, totally change up. Now he's wearing a jacket with shoulder pads, and he's going. And they're taking him to
He's in
space.
fucking space,
Yeah, dude.
guys, gals. He's in space. Jason Voorhees is in space.
Yeah.
Do we need to say anything else?
Yeah, it's like the graveyard of horror movies. This is when you take it to space.
Yeah, it's like, what? You saw how Critters did in space?
Oh, I forgot. Jason Goes to Hell is my number 12 on my list. I'm sorry.
So you got them just flip.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is
they're
number
both.
11.
I mean, dude, they're
This is
both
number
awful
11 on
movies.
my list.
I couldn't even make it through this one the second time. all
It's,
the way.
this
I
is the
just-
first time I'd ever seen
It's
it.
so
It was awful.
It's awful.
whether you got Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X as the bottom two, they're the same. I mean,
Yeah.
they're the same level of bad, just bad in different ways.
There's only one good part to this movie, and that's that frozen face.
The frozen face
Kill.
kill.
Which was
I
just
mean,
the complete opposite of the Halloween 2 kill when Michael dumps him in the
boiling water.
It's just
Yeah.
like a temperature opposite or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was a cool kill. But
I don't.
he's going back in time and like
I hate the look of this Jason. I mean, it's just. It's,
And then you got Super Shredder Jason. at
Yeah,
the end.
it's.
like whatever. What do they
SSJ.
call him? They call him something.
fucking horrible.
Yeah, that's what we'll go with. Uber Jason.
Uber Jason.
Stop.
Yeah, just stop.
Must
What
stop,
year was
stop.
this, Tony?
This was 2001.
Makes sense. When did Resurrection come out? 2000, 2001, something like that.
Around that.
Yeah.
Just let's just
horrible.
make shitty like.
We'll just glide
sequels.
right on by that one.
Yeah, go ahead. Go on to the next one.
The next one is we got 2003's Freddy vs. Jason, which the
I'm a fan of.
concept
I'm a fan of it.
is really good for this one, but it's lower on my list. It's number 9 on my list.
So I got it a little higher. I got it at 6, but I've got it above 6, 7, and 8. But it's got flaws, obviously.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
I saw this one in the theater.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of fun with
Yeah.
it, and I didn't have as much knowledge on either franchise when I
Right,
watched
right.
this. I knew who both characters were, but I had never seen all the movies, so I just strictly went into it just to see kills. And
Oh, yeah.
but it definitely feels more like a Freddy movie.
Oh yeah,
than-
it's,
does- it does.
it's
It is
definitely
more
more
of
of
the
a Freddy
Freddy
movie
side.
because Freddy's using him as a ploy.
As a
Yeah.
boy, yeah. What
pretty
year
much.
was this one?
This one was 2003.
03, yeah.
Yeah.
I had fun with this one, man. Had good kills in it. But like he said, it's in this countdown, but it'll be in the Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's my
whenever
number
we do that
6
down
as
the road.
well.
Yeah.
So
So I've got it right there, literally right in the middle.
Once
6 out of
again,
10.
we change up the look of Jason once again for this one. I mean,
yeah, what is he? A black guy in this movie?
I don't
like
know
his
what-
whole head, like he's black.
it's like they completely ignored all of the movies before and it came up with their own look. And if you have the NECA figure of this one, he has fucking platform shoes on. I hate it. I hate it.
I get why it's further down.
I mean, he's wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the look of the machete. The machete looks more like a sword than a machete in this
Yeah.
one. I like I like the movie's fun. I'm just not a fan of the look of Jason.
No, I
in this
get
one.
it. Yeah. And I can see why it's lower. It's just I just had more fun with this one than I did 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
As far as just having fun with it. But
Oh, yeah.
better movie. I mean that's.
And
up to you.
I
It's
can't
up
believe
to you.
this only came out, 2 years after Jason X?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like such a dramatic difference in quality.
Oh,
for
yeah.
It was New Line, right? See, New Line did
yeah.
that one because of Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
I believe that.
Jason,
Yeah.
and
Because it was
which
New
makes
Line,
me
yeah.
hate Jason X even more.
Jason X is so bad, dude.
It's the Batman and Robin of Friday
totally is, yeah.
franchise.
And then we would get our longest break in between Friday the 13th
5 years?
movie. 2009's
Oh, no, right.
Friday the 13th remake, which I am a fan of. A lot of people don't like it.
I like it.
I think it's fun. Other than the Trent character, if you could change Trent in this movie, it'd be a whole lot better. But
it's
Trent drags it down.
ridiculous.
He's an absolute freaking
He's
idiot.
horrible.
Your tits are stupendous.
Stupendous, yeah.
It's
And
the worst
fact
line.
that he got the privilege to bang that chick after. I mean, she should have stopped him mid-fuck and said, "Stop." You said stupendous. But if the first 20 minutes of this movie would have kept
Oh,
up,
yeah.
it would be
Oh, yeah.
1 or 2 to me. Because that first 20 minutes is incredible.
Yeah.
Like just up until the roll credit or whatever, whenever he's running out. That whole, it's amazing, man. And
Incredible.
then you don't really, I've got it higher up on my list, but it would be so much higher if they would have just kept that consistency.
And this is one of the most intimidating
Oh,
Jasons
dude.
out of the whole
Dude,
franchise.
he's like
I mean, Derek
like a
Mears.
NFL linebacker.
Yeah,
Like
Derek
running after
Mears did a phenomenal job, in my opinion. I love, like Jordan said earlier, I love the sackhead look of Jason in this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Because it's not so fluffy looking around his head. I mean, it's cinched up tight around there. And I'm a fan of the tunnel system in this one because it makes sense how he can pop up over here so quickly. When people are running away, he can pop up over here and over in this area so quickly.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But he's kind of, I forget what you said, what you called him when we were watching it the other night during that part. But anyways,
I don't remember.
It's got some good kills in it for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a
kills.
fan of the characters though. And
No.
you don't really like any of the characters. Not that you do in a lot of the other ones. I mean, you do in
The
some.
TNA is pretty nice.
Oh,
too.
Yeah, the
TNA's
TNA's
amazing.
great in
It's
this
great.
one.
It's
You got,
It's almost overboard.
Tons
you know?
of titties. Yeah, love it. Hot, baby.
but I mean, you're talking about the late 2000s too, when the remake fad was going on.
Yeah, and
Because
it's
when did the Texas Chainsaw remake come out?
03.
Oh, okay.
04,
Never mind. I was
03.
way
Oh,
off.
I remember
No,
one.
I mean that's when you had that whole 5-year span, and you had Dawn of the Dead, Hills Have Eyes,
Yeah.
Last House on the Left. I mean, there's tons of them that came out.
Yeah.
Amityville, they all were kind of just pumping them out in that little Evil Dead 5-year span.
I do have one big complaint that we talked about when we watched it. Is the movie's way too dark.
Yes,
You
it's-
can't see anything.
It's
Yeah.
a very,
not
very
lit
dark
well,
movie.
Yeah, it's not lit well. Yeah.
Oh man! And then Jason's like an Olympic, he
Yeah.
can like throw axes across the field, and it just lands
Yeah.
perfectly.
And the bow and arrow,
The bow and
kill.
arrow on
yeah,
the moving boat.
moving boat just sinks it right through his head. One of my favorite kills is the chick that's underneath the dock, and he's walking up and just and pulls her up.
The precision of the stab.
Yeah,
into
he's
the
so
dot.
talented.
He's a killer, man. He's a killer.
But it is fun. I've been kind of up and down with this movie. I really liked it the first time I saw it, then I really disliked it the second time. Watching it a third time, I enjoyed it more.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same with me. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, this movie's awesome.
Yeah.
Years ago. And then I rewatched it a few times a couple years back, and then it fell on down. I was like, yeah. And then I rewatched it like a week and a half ago. I didn't get to watch it with them when they rewatched it, but I rewatched it by myself. And I had more fun with it just like he did. So
I think I liked it more just kind of watching them all, like being in that mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. I have it somewhere in the middle. I have it at number 7.
Yeah, I got it at number 6.
I got it at number 5. So it was right there. It was flip-flopping.
We're very
that
similar
Freddy
on our
versus
rankings
Jason.
with
Yeah.
this franchise.
These seem to be. This is the most we've, other than like Sleepaway Camp, which is just 3 movies. This is kind of the most we've agreed on. Which, I mean, it's cool to disagree too, but these are kind of, I don't know, man. I think these have a lot of good ones and watchable ones, and then just a couple of really bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, I have no desire to watch 8 and 9 ever again.
Yeah,
Right.
Not 8, 9 and 10.
9 and 10. Yeah.
I can skip those.
Yeah.
Goes to Hell and Jason X.
Being a Friday the 13th fan, as much as I am, I can easily skip those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it nice that me and Chad sold this. Because
Yeah.
we have
Oh,
the
yeah,
we have
so
the
nice.
8 movie collection.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
$20.
But yeah, man. Overall, man, really fun. Franchise to check out, especially this time of year, man. You can get. This is out of print. It goes for stupid money right now, but like you can get the Universal collection for like $20-$25 on Blu-ray, and then you can, if you want to get the other 2, you can get a DVD with it, and then I got Freddy vs. Jason on like a triple pack
Yeah.
with something else.
Yeah.
So you can get the whole set for less than $40 if you look for it good enough, and it's definitely worth that. I mean,
Hell yeah, it's worth that.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
worth $500.
it's worth $500. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the most, like I said, we talked at the beginning of the video that it's up there, man, as far as the most entertaining.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What about you just want to briefly talk about the fan films?
Yeah, we
Never
can,
Hike Alone and Vengeance?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? Never Hike Alone first?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put any notes for it. I put it 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's solid. I mean, it's.
It would probably be right there between the original and Freddy vs. Jason. You know, between my 5 and 6.
For a
I
fan
like-
film, it's shot really well.
Yeah.
For no budget whatsoever that they shot it with. I like the look of Jason in that one. Of what they call him Ghost Jason. I'm a fan of the look. What's his name? Vincent DeSante. He plays Jason in that
Yeah.
one. Does a good job, but there's, like I said, it doesn't have the kills.
Yeah,
Because-
when you have only one character,
Super isolated.
Yeah.
obviously they have to stay alive or there wouldn't be a movie.
Yeah.
So there's not many kills, you know, besides just little dream.
Yeah, and that
Sequences
and
and
the
stuff.
ambulance workers at,
Yeah.
at the end of it.
But it's cool, man. For like a fan film, it's like what, 52 minutes, like an hour or something.
Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out, man. It's a really well made film, and the main guy in it did a great job because he had to carry the entire film because it was
Yeah.
just him in it, you know, other than Jason.
It's simple, but it's done really well.
It's
cool.
done really, really
Yeah.
well, and
It's
I'm
cool.
looking forward to the sequels that are coming out.
Yeah.
And then we watched Vengeance like a week ago,
Yeah.
and it was pretty rough. You know,
Yeah.
it just tried to do too much. It
Yeah.
had too much like moving parts and storylines.
The
and
editing was
characters.
not very
It was
good.
like 20 characters in it. You know,
Yeah, it
it
was
was
way
just
too much.
outrageous.
I mean, I don't want to bash anybody that goes out there and makes a fan film or anything like that. It just didn't sit well. I mean, the look of Jason was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The fact that they got C.J. Graham back to play Elias, but I didn't like the character of Elias
Yeah.
in
No,
this movie.
that storyline was kind of shoo-shoo.
Because I've got a comic book set where it goes more into the backstory of Elias, and in that set, Elias was an alcoholic, abusive husband towards Pamela, and he was abusive towards Jason, and Pamela kills him before Jason goes off to the Camp Crystal Lake camp,
Right.
and that's the story of Elias. And this one, I'm just
I would still watch this over Jason Goes to Hell.
oh yeah,
The kills in this are like next level ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're like Hatchet type kills.
Yeah.
Right? They're really ridiculous. More brutal than any other Jason film. So they were definitely going for that.
I'm looking forward to seeing Fall of Camp Blood with our boy Ivy in
Jonathan
that one.
Ivy, subscribe to his YouTube, subscribe to Chance as well. So, yeah, we're looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah.
Ivy's got him a part in that, so shout out to him.
Yeah, and Slash and Cast is putting that one out. So
Yeah,
I'm
man.
really,
It's
really
gonna be
looking
cool.
forward to that one. I'm not sure when the release date is officially for that one, but really, really, really stoked to see that one.
Heck yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the Friday the 13th franchise.
Longest video ever.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely the long. Well, this may not be longer than our trip video, but
Yeah.
it's close to it. So
It's a long one.
we appreciate y'all sticking around and all the support y'all been giving us all year, man. We've had a super fun time doing this.
Yeah, the year's almost coming to an end.
It
Next
is,
thing you
man.
know, we're going to be
Season
at
one
Days
is
of the
almost-
Dead again.
Season 1 is almost over, man. We're trying to go out on a high note. You know, we've been doing really well these last couple months. We've kind of all three been busy doing different things, but we're still trying to put out content for y'all, so we appreciate it.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hit that subscription button if you haven't already, because what the hell's wrong if you hadn't? We're almost 700 subs.
And it's almost Halloween time,
Yes.
For sure.
which is exciting.
For sure.
Yeah, very exciting.
So,
Yeah, hit that dinger, Kent Murphy style. Shout out Kent Murphy. Send us some t-shirts, man.
Come on, man.
yep.
We out.